In the last video, you guys saw me install this cold air intake on the R18 8th Gen Civic. And after driving it about 200 miles, what we noticed is obviously awesome sounding induction noises. But the car was running lean. And if you don't have a tuning solution like Honda or K-Pro or Honda Tuning Suite, you're not able to adjust the parameters so the computer can run efficiently. So with that being said, we decided to order the second cold air intake from Flat Shark Racing. This one has a little bit different design, as you can see, and it's also different sizing. 3-inch on the old intake and 2.5-inch on this new one, without this reduction pipe right here by the mass airflow sensor. So on this video, we're going to be installing the second cold air intake, running it, seeing how it sounds, and seeing, most importantly, if the engine and the computer, the fuel trims, are happy with this new intake. The real question here is, can you run a cold air intake on your R18 motor on the stock ECU without giving it too much overload and work? Okay, we're getting close, guys. We are getting close. Okay, there's the big box. I got the second piece of the intake on the bottom, the first intake on the top, and I was thinking that the second pipe of the first intake would connect to the second intake, but as you can see, it's way off here. And again, the second intake pipe is bigger than the first intake. Alright, time to put the mass airflow sensor in. Make sure it's facing the right direction, which is right there. You know, I'm just gonna take this whole thing out and just I'm gonna mount it right over here. All right, there it is. Still, the connection right over here isn't ideal, but I can squeeze it on somewhat over there. But again, it's just the pipe's like a little bit too long from the throttle body to this positioner here. But I'm gonna go ahead, connect everything with the mass airflow sensor as is. We're gonna connect. Okay, mass airflow sensor's connected. Let's connect this vacuum line right over here. Actually, maybe I'll tighten down these clamps in the back, and once I clamp them down, I can start the car as is. And I just want to watch the fuel trims and see if they're already going south, you know what I mean? Because if they're going the wrong way already, it may not even be, again, it might be the same situation as the first intake, which is running lean. And you don't want to be running lean, guys, because you think you're doing a performance mod for your car, and then it just ends up being something that's gonna actually damage your car. So you're not really tuning if you just got a loud intake and no benefits. You're probably slower and way more damaging to your engine. Alright, we got the OBD2 pulled up. We're going to monitor the first short-term and long-term fuel trims. And let's start up the car. As you can see, stock, I was running like -12.5 last recorded. And we'll see how fast these fuel trims change. If they change and they're heading towards positive, that means there's a lot more airflow coming through and it's running lean. Okay, so far not bad. I think open loop just finished, so now we're running closed loop and we're right at 0, 1, 1.5. That's much better than the last intake that we ran, which was adding like 20 to 30% more fuel. Okay, now we're back to negative. Okay, this looks promising, guys. This intake is looking promising so far. We'll let it idle down for about 5 minutes, and we'll kind of see where it settles at. Short-term trims will affect the long-term fuel trims. This will look different if I just reset the ECU and clear the codes, but we'll see where we get to here. So far this looks pretty good though, but it's flip-flopping from negative to positive, which is kind of a little weird. So there you have it, guys. You have the version 2 cold air intake from Flash Shark Racing. Unfortunately, it's kind of the same situation as the first intake. The install was a little bit smoother, the fit was a little bit better, but still not perfectly plug and play. Some parts and some clearances are a little off, but I must say it's a little bit better than the first intake. Even though this intake has one linear pipe, the fuel trims are still bouncing around, and that's one thing that's threw me off, because at least on the first intake I didn't notice the fuel trims bouncing up and down, and with this intake it was actually kind of irregular. You know, it would be positive and then negative, or like it jumps 10% of positive to fuel trims, like from 20 to 10 and so forth, just at idle, which isn't good. So obviously beating on this car like we did just to get some sound clips did not help whatsoever. Again, both of these intakes are perfectly fine if you're gonna tune your vehicle. If you're not gonna tune your vehicle, that's where the issue comes in. You might get check engine lights throwing a code saying you are running lean, and you are running lean because whether you're getting more airflow or the voltage meter isn't recording accurately, whatever it is, the combustion process isn't as efficient. You get cool noises for sure, cool sounds. It sounds sick when you're driving on throttle. Very, very nice. Again, just some cars aren't as intake happy as others. I always suggest doing everything after the oxygen sensor if you want a stress-free modification, such as a, you know, header, like the Flash Shark header we got with the cat delete. That was awesome, no issues, because everything's like post all the sensors. The catback we just installed from Flash Shark Racing, awesome, no problems, runs great with the factory intake. With the aftermarket intakes, again, hit or miss. So we did some testing on the 8th gen Civic platform, the R18 platform, and you guys can see these R18s, especially with these kind of generic Chinese made cold air intakes, it's a miss. It is a miss unless you're modified and tuning the parameters yourself. If you're running a stock intake, or if you're running a stock ECU, honestly I cannot suggest running a aftermarket intake. If you are trying to do a intake mod on your R18, maybe the name brand ones have better tuning on the intake to scale the mass airflow sensors better. And then lastly, if you want to modify your factory intake, it's really a trip because of the housing it's in, right? It's like in this box housing, so it's very hard to kind of just cut out and modify the intake. You see how it's molded with the intake box. The only thing I can suggest doing is go into a junkyard, find one of these caps for the R18, Dremel out the surroundings of this box, just so you're keeping the pipe itself in the general vicinity. That way you're utilizing the factory MAF location and housing and scaling. As I mentioned before, this housing goes from smaller to bigger, and that probably affects how the mass airflow sensor picks up the accurate readings for combustion, and every other aftermarket intake probably isn't doing what the factory airbox is doing. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments below what intakes you guys are running and if you're having problems. I know a lot of you guys are probably saying, yeah, I have a cold air intake and everything's good, runs great, but you have no data to back it up. So I'm trying to bring some data that anybody can grab off a OBD2 scanner, check their fuel trims, and check how their car is running with their aftermarket intake. So let me know in the comments below if you guys tried experimenting, if everything looks good, or if you had bad results with some intakes. But anyway, if you are interested in the header, either intake or the catback exhaust, check out Flash Shark Racing. I'll have links in the description and promo code for discounts if you guys want to hook yourself up with any of these parts.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along.